There are some goodbyes we walk away from easily. And then there are the ones that cling to our skin like memory, the ones that refuse to loosen their grip, the ones we try to move on from, but something inside us pulls us back, again and again, even when we know it's destroying us. Why? Why does walking away from certain people feel impossible, even when staying hurts more than leaving? Tonight, we're diving into that answer. The one truth no one says out loud. We like to believe we stay because we love, because we care, because we're loyal, because we're hopeful. But the real reason runs deeper, quieter, more complicated. Sometimes we stay because the pain feels familiar, because chaos feels like home, because we've tied our worth to someone else's approval, because their absence scares us more than their presence hurts us. We don't hold on because it's healthy. We hold on because our mind has learned to survive through attachment, even when that attachment is slowly breaking us. This isn't weakness. This is emotional addiction. And emotional addiction is powerful because it feels like love, but it acts like fear. How emotional addiction begins. Emotional addiction doesn't start with pain. It starts with intensity. Someone enters your life, and suddenly your world feels louder, brighter, fuller. They make you feel chosen. And once you've tasted that, your mind begins to crave it. Not them, not the relationship, the feeling, the validation, the attention, the reassurance that you matter to someone. And the brain becomes addicted to the highs, even if the lows slowly tear you apart. This is why you can leave people who were wrong for you, but you can't leave the one who broke you, because they didn't just give you pain, they gave you dopamine, then took it away, then gave it again. And your brain learned to chase the cycle. It learned to confuse intensity with love. When hope becomes a trap, you don't stay for what's happening, you stay for what might happen. Maybe they'll change, maybe they'll see your worth, maybe they'll finally understand you, maybe they'll love you the way you loved them. Hope becomes a cage that looks like a doorway. Every time they give you a small glimpse of affection, you believe the version of them you want is just one step away, but it never arrives. You're always almost loved, almost valued, almost chosen, almost. And almost is the most addictive drug of all. The fear beneath the attachment. Walking away isn't hard because they're perfect, or because your love is unbreakable, or because destiny tied you together. Walking away is hard because leaving triggers your deepest fears. The fear of being alone, the fear of starting over, the fear of not being loved again, the fear of not being enough, the fear of choosing yourself for once and not knowing what that even looks like. But here's the truth you never tell yourself. You're not afraid of losing them. You're afraid of losing the version of yourself that existed with them, the version who felt wanted or needed or seen, even if it was only sometimes. Emotional withdrawal. Why it hurts so much. When you walk away from someone you were emotionally addicted to, your heart doesn't just ache, your entire nervous system panics. It becomes restless, anxious, lonely, shaky, empty, not because you lost love, but because you lost your emotional drug. And like any withdrawal, the first stages feel unbearable. You want to go back, not because it was good, but because it was familiar. Your mind says, I miss them. Your body says, I miss the dopamine. Your soul says, I miss the version of me who felt needed. But none of those reasons mean you belong there. The breaking point. There comes a moment, quiet, subtle, almost invisible, when you realize something. You're not healing with them, you're only surviving them. You're not growing, you're shrinking. You're not loving, you're enduring. And endurance is not love. Sacrifice is not love. Pain is not love. You finally see that holding on isn't devotion, it's self-abandonment. And that realization becomes the beginning of every goodbye you were once afraid to make. Relearning yourself after letting go. Letting go is not a single decision. It's 1,000 tiny decisions every day, not checking their profile, not replying to what you know is a trap, not reopening the wound for closure you'll never get, not romanticizing the past, not forgetting what they made you feel. And the hardest part, meeting yourself again. Because you've spent so long trying to be enough for someone else, you forgot what it felt like to be enough for yourself. Healing begins when you stop chasing what hurt you and start remembering who you were before you convinced yourself you deserved the pain. The moment you finally let go, there will be a day, not today, not tomorrow, but someday, when you wake up and they no longer feel like home, when your heart feels quiet, when your mind feels clear, when your chest feels light, when your soul feels free. And without noticing, you'll have walked away not with force, but with peace. This is the beauty of emotional healing. The chains that once felt unbreakable fall off the moment you learn how to stand without them. You won't run, you won't rage, you won't collapse. You'll simply leave. Because you finally understand that the love you were fighting for was never worth losing yourself. The quiet strength you don't realize you have, if walking away feels impossible, it's because you cared with all your heart, because you loved deeply, because you didn't give up easily. But you deserve a love that doesn't demand your suffering to prove your loyalty. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve someone who knows your worth without needing to lose you first. And sometimes, the bravest form of love is the love you give yourself when you finally decide to walk away.